Namaste. Welcome to the second weekend of the 2020 Rasa Festival. My name is Sreyashi, and it is with great joy and excitement that I introduce our program for today. In the midst of this year's extraordinary global situation and in the spirit of social distancing, all these performances are premiering online. It is a great pleasure to host renowned artists from the US, Canada, India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan this year. We are honored that all these artists have created new works for our festival, and we are delighted to share them with you. Professor Pallabi Chakraborty will kick off the day's events with her brand new piece in the Kathak dance style. Next, you will see an inspirational collaboration very close to my heart with photographer Professor Charlee Brodsky, poet Zilka Joseph, and myself. An innovative music work, along with her own contemporary dance movement by Somdatta Chakraborty, will follow. Professor Pika Ghosh will give an amazing art history talk on the Katha art form from Bengal. Then we will end on the innovative and fun music and animation work Mughal-e-Funk by Rakae from Pakistan. Each artist will take you into further detail about their work. We hope you will continue to join us for all the wonderful programs that we have in store for you tomorrow and in the following weekends. You will find all the details on our website, rasafestival.org. Enjoy the program today.
The ghazal Zihale Miskin is considered one of the earliest ghazals in South Asia. It was written by Amir Khusro in the 14th century for his beloved teacher, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia. It uses Brajbhasha and Farsi to weave an intense aesthetic emotional landscape of longing, seduction, and eroticism, focusing on the eyes, Naina. I propose this perhaps can be considered the prototype for the aesthetics of Chhed-Chhar, the flirtatious and erotic love play between Radha and Krishna that is popularized many centuries later through Thumri and Kathak dance. I use English and Urdu translations here for easy accessibility, as well as for keeping the spirit of Khusro alive, who effortlessly combined Persian, Arabic, and Brajbhasha to create such a magnificent symphony of words. My inspiration has always been to imagine the past through my performance to figure out its ramifications for the present. The urgency of imagination is felt most acutely in India today, as its secular history is being rewritten by the Hindu right. In this embodiment of Khusro, who was considered the voice of India, Tute-i-Hind, I offer a vision of a multilingual, pluralistic, and cosmopolitan India. The piece is titled The Khusro Circle.
किसे पड़ी है जो जा सुनावे प्यारे पी को हमारी बतियां, पलक झपकते ही वो साहिर आंखें मुझे बेचैन कर गईं। पर किसे गर्ज है जो तुझे मेरे दिल का हाल सुनाए? Suddenly, using 100 wiles, those enchanting eyes robbed me of all my peace. Who would be bothered to convey to the beloved how I feel?
Zihale miskin, zihale miskin, जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया किताबे हिजरन्ना किताबे हिजरन किताबे हिजरन किताबे हिजरन न दाम जान न ले हो काहे लगाए छतिया न ले हो काहे लगाए छतिया जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया जिहाले मिस्किन आना मदनी सनी नी पारे मागा निरगम पा 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 गमदनी नी पारे पामरे मागा गारे निद निरे सा 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 निद निरे रे निरे गरे सा सा निरे गरे सा सा निरे गरे सा पा शबाने हिजरन दराज चुन शबाने हिजरन दराज चुन जुल्फ शबाने हिजरन शबाने हिजरन शबाने हिजरन दराज चुन जुल्फ वरोज वस्ल चूम्र कोटा वरोज वस्ल चूम्र कोटा सखी पिया को सखी पिया को पिया को पिया को पिया को सखी पिया को जो मैं न देखूं सखी पिया को जो मैं न देखूं तो कैसे काटूं अंधेरी रतिया जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल जिहाले मिस्किन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया जिहाले मिस्किन पा 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 मरेगा दा 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 मारे पा 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 गानी नीरे पा मरे गारे सा नीरे पा मरे गारे सा नीरे पा मरे गारे सा पा यकायक अज दिल दो चश्म जादू 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 यकायक अज दिल दो चश्म जादू पसद फरेबम बोबुर्द तस्किन किसे परी है किसे परी है जो जा सुनाए किसे परी है किसे परी है जो जा सुनाए पियारी पी को हमारी बतिया पियारी पी को हमारी बतिया जिहाले मिसकिन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए ना बनाए बतिया जिहाले मिसकिन मकुंत गाफुल दुराए नैना 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 जिहाले मिसकिन मकुंत गाफुल किताबे जरन नदार में जान नले हो काहे लगाए छतिया दुराए नैना बनाए बतिया दुराए नैना
न दौर में जाऊं न ले हो काहे लगाए छतियां।
तारी Tari jam Hello, Namaste. This is Somdatta. I'm the founder of Inara Arts, and I'm very excited to present my work today, which is called Moksha, as part of the Rasa festival. Moksha is about the liberation of perceptions that we have. We inflict ourselves with so-called inhibitions based on societal perceptions, as well as constricting ourselves through these boundaries. And this work has a beautiful interpolation of course, the grand music of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, and very light movements, and one of them being a composition by myself. So I hope you like my work Moksha, and thank you everybody. Namaste all.
কৃষ্ণ কলি আমি তারে বলি, কৃষ্ণ কলি আমি তারে বলি, কালো তারে বলে গায়ের লোক, মেঘলা দিনে দেখেছিলে মাঠে কালো কালো হরিণ চোখ, ঘুমটা মাথায় ছিল না তার মোটে, মুক্ত বেনি পিঠের পরে লোটে, ঘুমটা মাথায় ছিল না তার মোটে, মুক্ত বেনি পিঠের পরে লোটে, কালো সে যতই কালো হোক, দেখেছি তার কালো হরিণ চোখ, কৃষ্ণ কলি আমি তারে বলি। A woman I was born, not the gender you often scorn. Give us the respect and then adorn. Join the happiness and not be torn. Mixed together on earth in a bowl, look within us, the color of our soul, freedom and love. There is often a dearth. Women is strength, she did give birth.
I'm Pika Ghosh. I'm an art historian by training and I teach at Haverford College. Today, I'd like to share a bit of my research on a spectacular textile of the Bengali quilted kind called kantha. Kantha have typically been understood as the work of women, made of multiple layers of white cloth stitched together with white thread using a distinctive running stitch, which you see here in the object on the right corner of this slide. This quilted white surface can then be embroidered with a wide range of motifs and narratives using colored threads that are often drawn from the borders of white cotton saris worn by Bengali women, as you see on the left. These kantha thus associated with thrift and repurposing worn fabric. They are confined to ordinary domestic spaces and associated with a range of household rituals, from the ordinary to the everyday. They are associated also with intimacy, endowed with the ability to make houses into homes, to usher and embrace new life into the world, and to give comfort in faraway places such as Houston or Toronto, connecting people with their relatives back home in Kolkata. I'm interested in the voices of the ordinary women makers of such kantha that survived from the 19th century. I believe that women have left us their perception of their worlds in their needlework. And indeed, these textiles are often the only traces of their presence that we have today. This kantha by Manada Sundari Dashi is perhaps the best known of the genre. She has created what I believe is an elite household by assembling a range of motifs. And through these, she makes visible some of the process whereby a joint family, an extended household is structured, showing us the class, gender, and power dynamics in such establishments. The Kantha was collected by Guru Shodaya Datta, a colonial civil service officer, during his travels through rural Bengal on administrative assignments in the first quarter of the 20th century. And today the Kantha stands between sheets of glass, greeting viewers entering the museum that houses his collection, just outside the city of Kolkata. It was here that I first saw the object and fell in love with it 25 years ago. And I had to return with permission from the ministry to have it taken out of that frame to photograph, because the object, as you see, is in pretty frail condition. It will not last forever. The Gatha attests to the extraordinary skills of its maker, and I believe she uses the textile to assert her presence in the medium of her choice, maybe to even intervene in the debates about women's status, family, household, education, which had become very important in the 19th century. Her elaborate inscription at the center of the circle can be translated as, "This Shujni was made for Borodakanta Boshu of Jongol Bodhul by me, his daughter, Srimati Manada Sundari Dashi, with my own hands to honor him. Gentlemen, please forgive any mistakes that may have been made." This inscription is quite unusual in many ways because it is elaborate and in a formal language, and it indicates the artistic aspirations of its maker. It is also a gift from a married woman to her father, linking her thus to her natal home, like a letter would, marking a flow, a movement, from one home to another, a village to another. Or for the very young widows of 19th century Bengal, of which there were many, a poignant acknowledgement maybe of gratitude in the relationship between them. The Gatha may have served to renew ties, as we do today with Karakhi or Bhaipota among Bengalis, for example. And such formal gifts communicated in both material and perceptible ways. They can be transmissions of love, longing, anxieties, disappointments. And these gifts would surely have taken on greater significance in conditions of economic or emotional vulnerability that may have been felt by these women makers. Next to the inscription, she has stitched the East India Company's crest. We recognize the rampant lions in green flanking a shield with a cross, similar to those on coins on revenue stamp paper, And in this case, it lets us identify a time frame when this kantha could have been made. Probably from just before the acquisition of India by the Crown in 1862, which is when Queen Victoria's bust replaces this East India Company crest on the coinage and stamp paper. But the motif also reinforces Manada Shundari's words that the textile is a formal gift, an offering of the kind used in ceremonies to honor gurus, bless babies, or greet grooms at a wedding. Manada Shundari features a colonial mansion. We recognize the elaborate Georgian features from paintings and prints by artists such as Charles Doyley. But unlike those male artists, she has chosen to emphasize the experience of the inhabitants of these spaces that she has constructed in cloth. Here you see the Boitokkana, the more public area of such a residence, a space of leisure and pleasure, typically enjoyed by the men of the house. Here, replete with a pair of female dancers who are performing for the seated Babu with his attendant behind him. Such scenes would have been familiar from Kalighat watercolors and Bartala paintings of the second half of the 19th century, indicating her familiarity with such genres and undoubtedly her visual literacy and her interpretive abilities in rendering them in embroidery. She also features a range of women of different ages, statuses, and phases in their lives. Some look directly out at us. And in the center is a widow with short, shorn hair, sagging breasts, mostly naked, suggesting the pathos of widowhood that I had mentioned previously. Such textiles then offer an entry point into a world that is mostly obscured to us. Before the memoirs and autobiographies by women from the 1860s, these may be the most important documents that we have of the lives of ordinary women. They are precious in complementing the mostly male perspective we have from the literature and the visual arts of this period. And so I hope you will enjoy this textile and savor it as I have for over a decade now. Thank you.
Hi, this is Rakae, and first of all, I'd like to thank Akshara Arts and Sreyashi ji and Amy for including us at this Rus virtual festival. It's indeed an honor. So I am part of the band Mughal-e-Funk, and I'm the sitar player for the band and the composer as well. And the piece that we've submitted is called Akbar. So it's based on the emperor, Mughal Emperor Akbar, and the video itself is about, how progressive he was as a leader, but also about fertility, also about progressiveness and purity. And I feel that at his time, humanity was, especially in the subcontinent, South Asia, it was a better time for humanity, I feel. And lots of art was created during that, lots of music. Of course, the story of Tansen and Akbar, I think, inspires a lot of musicians, me included. So our album actually is called Sultanat. It's actually available on Spotify and Apple Music, and it's basically, it consists of tracks that are based on the Mughal emperors. And I hope you like it. I hope you find it fun. It's made in a tal, a cycle of 15 beats, and it's just something that we just concocted like spontaneously, and the melody especially, and then we sort of worked around it. So I hope you enjoy it, and glad that it's a part of the Rus Festival. So please do check us out on Instagram and Facebook as well. It's called Mughal-e-Funk, and thanks. Hope you enjoy.